And we're in the studio today. Welcome to Happy Hour Holidaze. Your boy Manny Fresh, Sean Febre, and we got the Dundada in the house, Steve Fantetti.
Boys, what's good?
Flexing the cardigan.
Always flexing the cardigan.
You know,
It's windy outside today. Tornado watch. Got to put on the sweater.
Dude, I don't know how
tornado watch.
Yeah,
Till
there
3
was.
o'clock.
Dude, I don't know how Steve does it, but this guy's got to have a personal stylist because this motherfucker is always fresh to death, dog.
Coming from you, Manny Fresh, I appreciate it.
You're trying to ditty him too, huh?
Well, you know, if you got to ditty somebody.
Hey, first of all, cheers. You said nobody cheers on here.
Cheers.
Duels.
I wanted a fucking old duels, man. I should have stopped and gotten some.
These guys denied Starbucks. I was impressed.
Yeah.
I got some McDonald and some Star. I'm ready to go.
Dude,
I'm ready to pod.
Dude, just to
Actually, here, hand me that.
just to kick it off right off the bat.
Yeah.
Let's just
How about
flex
fucking-
McCown a little bit just in case.
Just in case.
No, not in front of Steve. Then we gotta.
That's okay. I'm not very special. You can block me out.
Hey, but Steve, what did you say as soon as you came in? O.J.
Simpson just
fucking
died. Allegedly, bro.
Allegedly.
No, I mean, it's on posted on the phone. As soon as I say it, Manny's watch goes off and it says O.J. Simpson died. 76 years old.
I know, man. That's crazy.
Bro, that's...
Hey, we're filming this the first day of the Masters, just so you got. It won't be released until after, but yeah, OJ just died.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
His family said family posted online. That's how it got out.
Oh,
It was
really?
on his X page. I want to say Twitter, but I don't want to get in trouble. I want my Tesla truck taking too long.
You getting the Tesla truck?
I've been ordering like 3 years ago, man.
Holy
Something like
shit.
that. Yeah, I have my order number and everything. I've been
Did you
waiting.
see it went up from like 62 to like 101 now?
When I first put my order number in, do you want to know what the cost was?
62.
For the base model? It was like 45,000.
Wow.
So, but I think what happened, and I have absolutely, this is alleged. I have absolutely no.
Allegedly.
I listened to one of the earnings calls that was on. They were talking about how they had to like push production back because materials got more expensive.
Yeah.
And they had to build a new plant for it. They couldn't use the plant that they did the cars, and they had to build a plant just for the trucks. So that delayed it. Yeah, because the way they were being manufactured. And then,
Dude, what the fuck, bro?
you working hard over there.
I'm trying to frame it.
That's all right.
That's
Master.
right
No,
there.
hey, no free shout outs.
right.
Yeah. So then,
Unless you want to sponsor us,
I was
McCown.
gonna say unless, you know, but and then you know they do that event with it where he's like nothing can break this truck, and he breaks the window in the first try with the hammer,
Oh,
the
yeah,
softball,
yeah.
whatever it was, the baseball. So that pushed production back. I had to guess they had to order all new windows and stuff.
No way.
So I was hearing like that's why I just kept them delayed. And then I was talking to a friend of mine when I was in Lauderdale a couple of days ago. And we were he's like, you still haven't got it? And I was like, I haven't heard anything. And I saw the new release dates are 2025. So I don't know why I'm seeing some on the street.
You know, I just
I'm
saw.
like offended.
You know, I
I
just
see
saw
a couple.
There was like
Yeah.
4 in Lauderdale.
I
when
just
was
saw
there.
one yesterday. I was on at Fox Hollow
Yeah,
and Trinity.
it
I
looks so
literally
good,
just
too.
saw one, and
It looks awesome.
everybody was like,
Yeah.
everybody was pointing, man.
I want one of those.
What
it's
that-
like,
what
it's
that
like,
means
seeing a
is-
spaceship.
I
What
know
that
it
really
is.
means is just that they pre-ordered way before everybody
Well, I know,
else.
but
I know.
mean,
I thought I did, but
hey, it's
clearly
gotta
not.
you gotta know
Oh,
somebody.
I just don't have enough juice maybe in Tampa.
Yeah.
That's an ugly truck, though, man.
What?
No, I bet
Get
you
out of the
so.
studio.
That's dude. Actually, you know what's
That's a DeLorean SUV.
Dude, I was
talking about
watching
right now.
Total Recall the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
day,
yeah.
and I swear to God, I saw a truck that looked exactly
That's
like
probably
that.
where Elon got the idea from.
I wouldn't
I
even
wouldn't doubt it. I
I
mean,
wouldn't doubt it either.
I'm surprised it doesn't have the Lambo doors.
No, we can probably get those added on.
I know,
That truck just went to like 400.
I like it, man. You know,
Me too.
you know,
I
like
love it.
you know, all the ones that are like resale are
Yeah.
going for like 172 or like 170,
Are
180.
you kidding me?
Yeah, they have some
For the
res-
Tesla trucks?
For the Tesla truck,
They probably got like they're not like base models. They probably got like
they're probably the beast mode.
peanut butter seats and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know what they got on there.
No, I mean they look good. There was a guy who's like a really big stock trader,
Yeah.
and he was like, I don't ever purchase any vehicles, and he was showing off his Cybertruck.
Yeah,
that
I
he
would
just
do-
had purchased.
I don't like buying a lot of vehicles. I'm not a big car guy
Yeah,
at all.
I'm not
I like
either.
clothes.
Yeah,
No,
well, I can tell. No,
I like shoes.
yeah.
You know? I like real estate, but I don't buy a lot of vehicles. That's probably the definition of depreciating asset. But this truck is worth every penny, man. I can't.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I would get it too, but man, when it jumped up to 100, over 100, I'm like, I don't know.
I'm still in. I'm still long.
You're still in?
I'm long on anything Elon does. Any of
Yeah,
the
I
stock, any of the business.
Well,
I'm
SpaceX.
long.
Yeah, my brother's
Long
big on
them.
SpaceX. He's like, I'm gonna buy all
Yeah.
the stocks. On
I'm long,
If
and then,
they
I'm
ever
long,
go-
and then I'll double down, and I'll never short it.
I'll tell you what, the future of anything right now on Earth is space, man. That's why
think?
you have well, why do you have such a big space race right now? Why are they sending moon landers through private companies? But all these private companies never go public for a reason, because they know once they land on the moon and they start mining it, because that's all that shit is. It's for natural resources.
You think they've been mining it since the 60s when they first allegedly landed on it?
I think it was 54.
It was
right?
a movie script.
No, it wasn't 54.
It was a movie script. Everybody
I was
knows.
talking about it because I was with a buddy of mine in Lauderdale. I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And
can you name this buddy?
I can't. He plays football. I can't name his name.
Right.
But
Shout-outs?
he plays for NFL. Yeah, he's a great dude. But we were watching conspiracy theories after the national championship game, the basketball game, when it was done.
I saw that.
So we started talking about stuff. So we threw a bunch on, and like that was one of them. The moon landing. There was stuff. Obviously, the aliens was on there. There was one about we're not like Hitler's still alive. Not like even
In
now.
Argentina.
But like if he actually made it out, because you know how like they say that he like burned his body and like he actually did die and committed suicide. But then there's like people saying there's these sightings of him in Argentina like 10 years later. So there's all kinds of crazy conspiracies.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
Well,
I mean, with
Argentina
somebody
was
that
a
much
haven
power,
for Nazis. That's what it really was.
Correct. That's how like all the rat lines they called them. They end up making their way out through there. There's a lot
and then Tupac's over in Cuba hiding out.
Allegedly.
Biggie's
in Argentina too. No, I don't know.
And Diddy's about to go there.
There's this thing. My son showed me this thing on YouTube the other day that people are saying Michael Jackson's still alive because there's this guy out there who looks just like him and his face is all messed up from plastic surgery. It's really Michael Jackson, allegedly. But like my 8-year-old son showed me this. I'm like, why are you watching this?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm telling you, man, it's real. I'm like, no, I think Michael Jackson died. I tell my son about Michael Jackson and all this and what happened. And,
did we ever see his body?
Who, Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't, but I know like
if you go to Neverland, you'll find it. Yeah, if you go there, you'll find it.
Did you go in the early 90s? Dwight, not
I'm grabbing flashlights.
Remember that one time? Oh, God, that's funny. Anyway, keep going. We get off topic. We digress big time.
Yeah.
We plan to talk about none of this stuff. OJ started this whole conversation.
Yeah. I mean, that was significant, man. You know?
I was just telling Sean this off the air that OJ to me was like one of those people where it's like you think he was, because he beat that case, like he was just like a giant that would like never die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then allegedly cancer got him. Like that's, I mean, anybody can.
He's like Final Destination. He cheated death.
He did. I mean, he had the dream team lawyer. But that's what you're saying. It's not. It's like literally like the way that evidence looked, you know, until his legal team was able to like manipulate a lot of things. And obviously, there's the social factors around that case.
Do you think he was really guilty and he did?
I mean, if the glove doesn't fit.
I'll be honest with you, man, that's tough because
I think he did.
The evidence really showed that he did it.
I think he did it.
But
I remember.
It doesn't, I mean, at the end of the day, you could think and still have a personal feeling about someone doing it. At the end of the day, it's just the way our justice system works is there a reasonable doubt? Was there enough doubt that possibly someone else could have done it? But then you got to answer that. Based on the evidence, is there still doubt? Because the only thing that was doubt to me was the blood evidence. I think everything else was tough. I mean, there was 2 factors in that case to me that I was like, man, he really might have done it. So one is when your blood's at the scene, right? I mean, that's tough.
Was his at the scene?
Oh, yeah. They said they found it. But the problem is, and his lawyer, Barry Scheck, at that time, no one knew about blood expert stuff. And this guy was at the top of the world of it. And he was saying that, you know, chain of custody of the blood was a problem. Because when they found it, they were like, put it in like a car. It wasn't even like a cooler. And it was sitting there for a while. And that could taint the evidence. And then I forget the name of this substance. I wish I would have known if I would have prepped for this talking about it. I just didn't know we were going to talk about him because he just died. But there's a substance you put on blood to remove it. But that substance you put on at that time in like the early 90s, it could alter the DNA structure where it could cause issues where the reliability on the sample was accurate. And so they were arguing that too. So these are things that raised doubt now to say, well, was it really his blood? Because if it wasn't his blood, then he couldn't have been there, was the argument. So that's why his lawyers were saying it could have been his blood, but because of all this mess now, we don't know for sure. And there was a guy, he goes by the last name of Fung, F-O-N-G, I think. He was the blood extractor for the LA County Police at the scene, and he got eviscerated on the stand by Barry Scheck about every step he took to remove the blood, the chain of custody of it, what he put it in, how much of that substance he used to remove it. And I think the jury seeing that tainted it. And then the second thing to me was I don't know if you guys remember this case. I know a lot about this case.
I don't even remember when it was.
It was 1994 when the murders
I remember my
happened.
parents watching it. I mean, it was all
I
over the
was in
damn
fourth
news.
grade.
Yeah.
I remember watching it in fourth. That's the thing. Like maybe you want to be a lawyer too. Watching this case, I was like, this is crazy. Like the cross examinations at that time, and I was like, this is impressive. Legal battles. But the second thing that people forget about was there was a woman, and I forget her name, but right around San Vicente Boulevard, which is a street you have to get on to get into Brentwood. She said that OJ cut her off that night on the same time of the murders. Like he was coming back and he was speeding and he cut her off. Problem was they couldn't use her as a witness. She sold her story to a current affair for cash. So if you put someone like that on the stand, you can't put them on the stand and have them tell their story because they're going to say, well, how can we, comes to reliability of the witness, how can we rely upon your statement if you could just be doing it for stardom and for money because you already sold your story? So you get it? Like you're saying what you're saying because it's self-serving to serve your narrative so that you can get paid extra money from current affairs so you can be in the spotlight. So that now becomes an unreliable witness. But if that person didn't do that and they were reliable, how do you refute that?
So wait,
and the legal team never had to. But if you're OJ's lawyers, how do you refute that argument?
She saw him.
Yeah, you can look it up.
She saw him right before the murders occurred. Is that what you're saying?
She saw him speeding very fast. We believe the time
occurred?
she claims that if he committed the murders, it would have been a time where he was trying to get out of there and rush back. Because remember, he had a limo waiting for him because he had a golf event in Chicago, Illinois. So he had to get back before the limo driver or anybody else would be able to see him. And as you remember, he didn't pull into his driveway. He pulled the Bronco up, and if you can look at the pictures of this, but it shows it when the Bronco was found, it was pulled up on the side of the curve by the side of his house, and you could tell it was like recklessly parked. Like he was just in a hurry in general. So it meets the narrative about what that woman saw and how he was when he got back. They found bloody socks, remember, in the entranceway of his house. Remember that? They found one in his room. It's like he forgot stuff or he was dropping stuff, put stuff in his bag.
What was the motive? What motive did he have? Was this his wife? Because I was too young.
They weren't together at the time anymore. They were divorced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so she was.
He was like, I'm gonna fuck that bitch.
She was seeing other men, but he was in a relationship with Paula Barbieri, was her name. She was like an actress back in the early 90s.
I don't remember.
And so he was dating her, and Nicole was obviously with their kids. She was living in Brentwood as well, or outside of Brentwood. And I just remember that. I think was that because the guy that died that night with her, Ron Goldman, he was a waiter at the restaurant that night. He was bringing her glasses back to her that she left when they had dinner that night.
I didn't even know a dude died.
Yeah, so OJ's kids had a recital that night, and so OJ went to the recital too, and it shows him like hugging the family members and stuff. And then he went his own way and went home. Nicole Brown Simpson and her family with the kids after the recital went out for dinner at this restaurant called Mezzaluna, which isn't even there anymore, by the way. I tried to go see it when I was in LA last time.
Of Steve's
I can
story.
I can go deep on it. I told you.
Keep going.
This is good.
So from there, they have dinner. Apparently, she like hits it off or knew one of the waiters there. His name's Ron Goldman. And so apparently she left her regular glasses there. And there was a phone call made to the restaurant because they have it on record. Oh, I left my glasses there. And I guess she said, oh, can you have Ron Goldman bring them back to me? So he's come back to the house.
By name.
Yeah. So he goes back to the house. That's why there was 2 murders at the scene. But I think whoever the killer was, allegedly, probably wasn't expecting a second person to be there because there was a struggle. And you remember when OJ got, I won't say caught, when he was found, when he came back, because he flew back right away when they called him and said, your wife died. He flew back from Illinois, remember, to meet at his house. And there was police there ready to get him. He had that huge gash on his finger. And they were asking him how he did it. And if you watch his police interview, because it was taped, he gave 3 different answers on what happened to his finger in that interview. He never said the same answer the same time and what happened. And it was a fresh wound.
So
it
you
would have happened
think he
unless.
did it?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying these are all circumstances you have to consider.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
So whenever
now.
the killer showed up, and people think there was 2 killers there, by the way.
You should have argued the case, goddammit.
It's a crazy case. It was part of my childhood. I can't forget it. And I started reading more and more about it. Then I read his book, If I Did It. OJ wrote a book that if he did this is how he would have done it and stuff. That book was crazy.
I did it.
It's crazy. And then like the if is crossed out, or I don't know. It was weird.
If I did it.
You can't even buy it anymore. But I do remember just that situation because when they found the body, Nicole Brown Simpson was in the stairway. And then to the right, on like this little grass area patch, was the body of Ron Goldman. So there's 2 deceased individuals at the scene.
What kind of mortal wounds did they have?
It was all stabbing.
Oh,
Hers were
really?
incredible. Allegedly, I don't want to get too graphic on here, but like
Get
allegedly
graphic.
it was through the neck, and like it was almost like there was nothing left. They said like
So
it was a crime of
sliced
passion,
it?
slat like dug in. No one had. It wasn't just a simple slash. It was like dug in where there was no way you could even like resuscitate the person. And then there were stab wounds to the chest. They said it looked like a crime of passion, which means
What about
when
Mr.
they say
Goldman?
crime of passion, it's like the people knew each other.
Yeah.
So it's like I hate you so much,
I hate you so
and then
much.
the guy was probably trying to stop him. Ron Goldman, I mean, trying to stop the killer from probably.
He wasn't banging her. Was he banging her?
I don't know. We don't know.
Oh,
We
yeah.
assume there was like a bath running and stuff at night when she came down. She was in a bathrobe, so who knows what they were
So
playing.
was Ron Goldman stabbed as well?
Yeah, he
Or
was stabbed
his
and killed.
throat slit as well? Or-
Yeah, I think his injuries were. He had stab wounds everywhere. He had like one through his foot. Apparently, they were saying. I mean, you can look at the autopsy photo. It shows you. Like, you know that like picture of like
The
that
diagram,
like, this diagram of the
yeah.
body
Yeah.
laying there. They show you all the marks and wounds and everything. He had a lot in his chest and abdomen area. I think they might have punctured a lung too. And then I don't think there was a throat shot. I think there's just a lot of other stuff.
But you asked the question: was that guy a big guy?
Ron Goldman? I don't know his size, but I remember
Was he bigger than OJ?
I remember he could handle himself. I think they were probably close to the same size. And apparently he did like martial arts.
Oh, shit.
Ron Goldman did. And he was like a softball player, like an athletic. And he was like a young guy. He was 24 years old, maybe 25 when he died. So it's not a guy who like he couldn't,
Yeah,
handle
Handle
himself.
himself, yeah.
But I mean, whoever the killer was had an advantage, I think.
Yeah, I feel like
'Cause
he
when you
might
have
have
the
been a
element of
football player. He
surprise-
might have been a football player or
I
something.
mean, all I know is if you think about it,
If there
if
was a
you-
gun in that house, it
if
would
there
have
was
never
two
happened.
people trying to meet, you're going to hand the glasses back, and this person comes out of nowhere. They already got you from the element of surprise. So there could have been a huge wound on the big guy first.
Yeah.
Which it makes sense strategically to probably take out the
Yeah,
threat
yeah.
and then go after whoever it was. That
Well,
you were
have
trying
you
to
thought about
kill.
doing this before?
No, I'm saying this is all me listening to
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, no,
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 it makes
fucking-
sense. I mean,
easy there.
Yeah, if I did it,
Have you thought about this allegedly?
Oh, God.
No, but I mean,
Hilarious.
honestly, do you think, Steve, because he was a very popular football player, that
That
this
probably
had a tremendous amount of advantage for him?
And you mean like with the jury?
Yeah, with the
yeah.
jury and that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
possibly some fans that were
Well,
like,
the whole point of a jury is for them to be impartial.
Yeah,
so
I know, but-
if they selected the jury and didn't know who OJ was, which is what they
Impossible
should
in
have
Los
done.
Angeles.
Yeah, it's
They would have to
impossible.
change the venue. Even if you change the venue, at that time, everyone knew who he was because he wasn't even playing anymore at the time.
no,
this
no, he
happened.
was retired
But
already.
he was in movies like Naked Gun
Yeah.
movies. He was on NBC Sports. He was the main sideline reporter.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a show on HBO.
I mean,
at the
he
time.
was a top tier football player.
But there's some
He ran
people.
for 2,000. He's one of
Yeah.
like the few people in history ran for
Yeah.
over 2,000
But-
yards in the
But
season.
there's some people that
Yeah,
could not know him. You know,
it's probably unlikely. And I think I also think that
Like
once
children.
even if you get on a jury, you're going to hear the background of them anyway, and you would start
Yeah.
feeling a certain way maybe about that individual.
Yeah.
But I do know that to answer your question, it was tough because I think the jury could have been biased by being overwhelmed that he was a football player. Like the jury even got to go to his house and take a look at the crime scene.
Oh,
Probably
wow.
seen everything. They had to change. I mean, there's a story about that we can talk about after because I know you got a break in a second
Yeah.
about when the jury went there. And there's a great series that covers all this.
Yeah.
On FX that was out a couple years ago.
I
About
didn't know
6
the
years
jury
ago.
was allowed to leave the courtroom
Oh
to
yeah,
go and
just
see
for
the
that,
crime scene.
absolutely.
Yeah,
They
for
can
sure.
request it or the court can offer it because it gives them a better understanding of what happened when you can see that. But it's also just the social climate about police brutality in the early '90s. Rodney King.
Rodney King.
So a lot of that came into play. Not just the fact that he's a famous football player. It's just that people think the jury wanted to win one for African Americans who were hit by the system.
All right, and when we get back, we'll talk about the jury visiting the house and what comes up next. Because
Talk about something else, too,
I
you
know,
want.
no,
I
we
mean, no,
are.
but this is good.
Yeah, but this
though.
is good shit. I mean,
You know,
for
there's a
somebody
lot of
to
people that don't remember
somebody
this.
knows this
Yeah.
in depth.
And he just passed away, man.
Yeah, I know.
Talk about it
Yeah,
now, I
exactly.
guess.
For
All
sure.
right, man.
We'll be right back. Like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our Friday features. All right, we're back to Happy Hour Holidays. Thank you for tuning in, Holidazers. OJ Simpson just died, and we're kind of covering the whole trial. This guy's
Real fast.
This
Real
guy,
fast.
this is like on a fast pace, quarter mile here.
Man, Manny's already sure that OJ had done it.
Well, I'm like, with
Allegedly.
all the.
Are you changing? Wait, what was your position before
That
you
he
found out
did
he
it?
even died today?
I still think he did it.
Oh, you do? How about you?
I'm unsure. Undecided.
That's me too.
Undecided.
I lean towards.
I want to say he did it, and I also want to say because a jury of his peers said he did not
I
do
lean
it.
towards reasonable doubt, meaning it could have been, but
But unless you can prove it 100%, it's not known 100%.
it's close, man.
But
I mean, a lot
look,
of
So we were
evidence.
asking about the gash on his finger off air.
Yeah, you did.
So Was that his only injury that he sustained?
You know, it's been a while since I looked at because these are online. You can find them, but they took pictures of his body and stuff. O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson's body.
When they brought him in for questioning. I think
so he had bruises.
he had a couple bruises, I think, on his like solar plexus area.
Come on.
Small ones. Yeah,
Come
maybe his girl was doing that.
No, bro.
Or maybe he was into
Hey, no. What
Sonic
Steve said, crime of
SDMA or
passion. Who's
BDSM?
gonna fucking go so far?
Or he
into-
fought that dude off. Who knows? You know, but I mean, but I don't think it was anything that crazy. I don't think he had any other gashes on him or anything else. So
What if Ron Goldman killed her and then O.J. Simpson was just defending her, and that's how he got his gash?
then you'd be admitting he's there. He could have raised that as a self-defense.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's-
all that stuff, I don't know. That sounds a little bit.
okay.
Actually, that would have been
And
a
Ron
better
Goldman
way.
would have to have a motive.
That
As
he
well.
wanted to smash.
No.
Why would he kill her
No.
if he was trying to do that?
No, he-
Maybe she didn't want to.
No, she told
She
him.
told him to come over with the glasses.
Yeah, no, but,
Yeah, but
Her
not
mom
to
could have
fuck.
picked them up tomorrow or took the glasses back and gave them to her.
no. Well, here's the thing. She
So they
told,
were fucking.
She told Ron Goldman that she was
Legend.
still sleeping with O.J. Simpson. He got pissed, killed her. Then he came in, and then he killed her.
Yo, you need some of that McAllen. And he's drinking those dual cells and stuff. That's crazy. You guys are crazy, man.
So now the
Yeah.
jury comes back to or goes to O.J.'s house.
Yeah, so
They see everything.
the story's hilarious. And like, I think Johnny Cochran told this story on CNN to Larry King after the trial. But there's also a show that was on FX where you can actually see it happening, where they kind of acted out. But it's hilarious. But this is allegedly what happened. So I can't remember who requested it in court, but I'm pretty sure it was the prosecution. It was Marsha Clark, Christopher Darden, who were the prosecutors in that case, the main ones. And so they wanted the jury to go to the Simpson residence to see, you know, the entire residence, how big it was. You know, was it possible for him to get to these places around the house? And remember, Kato Kalin, the house guest in the back, was who OJ went to McDonald's with minutes before. If OJ did it, he left to go to do the killings. Well, Kato Kalin, who was the house guest at the time, I'll get to the jury thing, don't worry.
Yeah,
but this is why they needed to bring the jury back. Kato Kalin was a struggling actor in Hollywood. He was friends with Nicole Simpson. He babysitted the kids a lot. He was gonna live with Nicole. OJ's like, no, you can live in my guest house. So he lived in the guest house, but allegedly he says, and he testified in court, that he heard a huge bang on the back air conditioner around the same time that the limo was waiting. And they think OJ, what this prosecution was saying was from Cato's story, nothing else would have caused that kind of a bang, but for if maybe OJ was sneaking out the back. And it was dark because they found I think they found a second bloody sock there. I can't remember. They found,
How's this guy losing
they
his
found the
sock?
first. They found the bloody glove there. The first bloody glove was in the alley by the air conditioner, alley in the back of his house. So they think maybe he hit himself and it could have fell out. And then obviously that they called him he is, I guess, a kind of corrupt racist cop, Mark Furman. He was the one that found the glove. Remember, he was the guy who was saying all those epithets about Jewish people and African Americans and how he'd arrest African Americans and beat them and stuff. It was on tape. So that came out. That's what really tainted the whole thing. So they thought he was racist, planted the glove, planted the blood evidence. So all that worked in OJ's favor. But when they're at the house, if Cato heard that bang on the air conditioning around the same time the limo driver was waiting for OJ, if OJ came back quick and was trying to go out back so he couldn't be seen by the limo driver, then they're saying maybe that was him who hit his head. So there's all these different scenarios.
That's probably where he gashed his finger too.
Well, it could
coming
have been
out
the
the
fight
window.
with the knife.
Oh,
yeah.
with the-
But I mean,
like a defensive wound.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
your hands up. When the guy had a knife too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, we don't know. I'm making that up.
At the same time, have you guys ever worn gloves before?
Isotoners like those? I have. That's what they have.
Dude,
Isotoners.
I'm just saying, like, I've never had a glove fall off. I mean, unless you're wearing gloves that are way too big, right?
Well, unless, they're dripping blood. You
Yeah.
got to put them somewhere to keep the blood in one space.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
and you put them in your pocket.
You're creating a
Yeah.
situation where it follows you everywhere you go.
But then they have both gloves for both hands?
They found both gloves, yeah.
Yeah. Where was the second glove at?
I can't remember. I can't remember if they only found one or if it was two.
There was two. There's
I know
a
they found
picture
two
of him
socks.
with both.
Well, that in court, yeah, it was that, and then they didn't fit because he had these little things over it, and
Yeah.
also blood deteriorates leather. That was a huge old story about that.
Yeah.
Christopher Darden took a risk. They were telling him not to do it, and he did it. But so the jury comes in to see all kind of the spacing,
Yeah.
and so Johnny Cochran's telling the story about how, well, if you ever been in OJ's house, not saying anything racist, just what he said, but he was like, it doesn't look like an African American person's house.
Yeah.
He's like, pictures of white people everywhere. He had the staircase. It was like all these white famous celebrities he's with. And so,
Nicole decorated it.
oh no. But what he said,
That's why he killed
when
him.
Johnny Cochran said this on his interview with like Larry King, but he was like, we had to go there and kind of, freshen it up a little bit because the jury had a lot of African Americans on it, and they knew they were playing the race card, Johnny Cochran and F. Lee Bailey and the whole defense team.
Yeah.
They had to make sure that the jury was going over. They would stay strong about their beliefs about that this is an African American being hurt by the system, and so we got to stay strong on that. So they end up moving all kinds of those pictures out of the house.
No
Put
shit.
like African American arts, crafts, paintings on the wall.
Isn't that tampering with the crime scene?
No, it's after the fact. Taming the crime scene was alive when you're doing it.
Oh.
So they just called it redecorating. They were redecorating his house, and so apparently
So that was beneficial.
Her house.
no, his house, OJ's house. That's who they went to go see.
Yeah.
Is where he lived the night of the after the killings, right?
Oh,
Of
not
the
even.
killings.
Oh, so not the house where she was
Not where
murdered.
it happened. No, they're trying to go because remember,
Well,
they
then
were
what the
saying
fuck's the
there's
point
air
of that,
conditioner.
dude?
Here's where the blood was found. Here's where the chauffeur would have pulled up. Could OJ have gotten from the chauffeur to the back, showered, got dressed, got his bags out? So they wanted him to see everything to see if it was realistic. And so they redid the whole house, and there's a line that Johnny Cochran said happened, and it's in the TV show when OJ walks into the house. He gets to go back to his house for the first time since the murders because he was in jail, right? So he goes in and goes to Johnny Cochran and goes, who the hell's house is this? I swear to God, and he was like, what the hell is this? And Johnny Cochran tried to keep his laughter in. But if you watch the old CNN interview from 1995 after the trial, Larry King Live, he interviews Johnny Cochran. Frank Shapiro was one of his lawyers. Remember that? He didn't get along at the end because Frank Shapiro was the lead attorney in the beginning. And then OJ was like, yo, Johnny Cochran needs to take over. He's a better attorney at the time, they were saying. And which he was. And then F. Lee Bailey was great on cross because he crossed Mark Furman and got that narrative out of him that he was a racist. They got him lying under oath.
Yeah.
Because remember, F. Lee Bailey asked Mark Furman under oath, that corrupt cop, he said, have you ever referred to African Americans, as like N-words and all these other epithets? He goes, no, I've never done that. And F. Lee Bailey plays the tape, and Furman is like, we got you.
So that's perjury.
100%. Then he started pleading the fifth after that. Correct. That's
Yeah.
exactly
So
right.
then, did he get arrested as
I
well?
can't remember what he got, but something happened. I think he either pled out. I know he couldn't be a cop anymore, lost all that. And then he became a Fox News contributor after that. That's all I know. I swear to God. Yeah. Like Bill O'Reilly always had him on about like legal cases and stuff. He was on Fox all the time after that, which is crazy. So, but yeah, they were at the house and that happened. And apparently, they felt, and that's how smart, Johnny Cochran was, seeing all the angles. It was like, we got to make sure his house is in a way where, we keep support. Because if it didn't look like that, he was worried that a jury might not see the race card, believe that, he was someone in the African, community that we should be helping, stuff like that. Because I don't know if OJ gave a lot back to the African community or not, but
The real question is, man, if OJ didn't do it,
yeah.
who was the next main suspect?
Well, people were arguing
So yeah.
two things. One is
Because
it
OJ didn't do it, and
was
that's an
there two
unsolved
people there?
murder. Yeah.
And then secondly is, well, who else's blood would have matched up with his? And they say it was his son, Jason, possibly was a suspect at the time. They cleared it, but there's a couple of things about Jason where people were like, oh, it's got to be him. One, his blood matches OJ's, right? Because he's his dad.
Yeah.
Two, Jason, his profession, he was a chef. He had access to lots of knives. And they were arguing the knife cuts were of a certain type of cooking knife where they could say it could have been that. So they're trying to raise that doubt, but I think OJ nixed that from even being raised because it's his own son.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
But if you raise doubt, then you turn everything onto him. So, and I don't know if his son would have had any type of issues with Nicole. I don't know
His
enough about
mom?
that person.
Was that his mom?
his
Would have been
Yeah.
his stepmom, not his original.
Stepmom.
OJ was
Oh,
married
okay.
before he was married to Nicole.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And they
I
had,
could see his son being a little
they had
pissed
two
off.
kids, and they had three kids together. His
Taking
first
my
wife.
daddy's
One
money?
died. She drowned in the pool when she was like a little younger infant.
Oh fuck.
And then he had his two oldest, his daughter and his son. They were at the trial all the time, every day. They were there. And then when he married Nicole, he had Sydney and Justin. And Justin's a realtor in St. Pete.
No way.
Coldwell Banker. Yeah.
Holy shit.
They own a bunch of like condos and stuff they rent out. And so I think that's what they do with their money. Him
that's-
and his sister.
That's
Yeah.
OJ's son,
Yeah. He lives on St. Pete.
Justin Simpson.
Clearwater,
I
St.
guess.
Pete. Mhm.
Oh shit.
Yeah. You can look him up online. Coldwell Banker. It's him.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but
Him putting him on blast like that, dog.
everybody knows that. Well, you guys know is you don't know anything about the case, clearly. No.
I don't.
But, no, give him some business. But yeah, man, it's just whole thing's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
But the case, there's so much to know about. That's why there's a lot of things that you can.
Was
know.
there
There's
ever a
even
third
more.
suspect or no?
I'm sure there was a lot of suspects.
So it was unsolved, right?
All I know is
It
OJ
is. It's unsolved.
still
Yeah,
unsolved.
all I know, OJ said he never went back to California because he never knew he could be somewhere and be next to the killer. That's what he said. So he stayed out. He stayed out in Vegas and Florida, apparently. Yeah.
Damn.
And then he went to jail again, as we know, right?
Yeah, for
allegedly stealing his own stuff.
It's not alleged,
Yo, Sean,
bro.
Don't get into this, bro.
It's not alleged.
I know. No, I get
If you're
I get it.
convicted, it's no longer
I just
alleged.
think it's crazy that you go to jail for taking back stuff you signed.
That you sold.
But I don't think he sold it.
But if you never owned a jersey and you signed it, I mean, all
No,
you really
I get your point.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think what people, I mean, technically, you could still say the whole thing was legal. But I know he was, well, I don't want to say this. It's alleged, people were saying, that he was, because he couldn't get a job, technically, and make money. Because remember, the Goldman got that civil verdict, the Goldman family against him.
Yeah.
So any money he made would have to go to pay off the verdict. Because he lost, it was a $36
Well, I
million.
don't know about that one.
So after the trial was done, when he got found innocent, the Goldman family hired a different set of lawyers, or hired their own lawyers for a civil suit for wrongful death. And the standard's different. The standard in criminal cases is beyond a reasonable doubt, right? And so that's a different standard. It's like you need all the jurors, right, to believe
but if
that
you're clear,
if there's some doubt here, we can't send this individual to jail for the rest of their life or for a capital punishment, right? So that's a different standard. But in civil cases, the standard is less. So it's only called by a preponderance of the evidence, which is 51-49, more likely than not.
even though you have been already cleared.
But that's criminal.
I know. But
Correct.
shouldn't that supersede any civil proceedings?
It's not. The law doesn't work that way.
Wow,
It's
the
civil
law
law,
is fucked,
criminal
bro.
law.
The law
happens
is
all people get
fucked,
wrongful
bro.
deaths. I mean, Diddy was probably settling those cases back in the day. Civilly. I don't want to change that. You opened the door to that earlier.
Hey,
But
no, you forgot to say allegedly.
Allegedly. No, I said that. I said say allegedly.
No, you said Diddy was probably.
No, probably means maybe. I didn't say he did it. So thanks for the help, though. But I mean, that civil case he lost, and then he got rendered like a $36 million verdict against him, and so
That's outrageous.
He would have had to pay that. Well, look at all the evidence we talked about.
Did he
Does
pay
that
it?
not look more likely than not he might have done it?
I
And so
mean,
you can
I-
hold him
I-
civilly responsible.
But
Again,
there,
I don't
there
know.
is reasonable doubt.
Not in a civil case.
Not in a civil case.
Exactly. It's preponderance of the evidence.
So what did he
It's a
get?
standard.
So what was the outcome of that?
$36 million.
Well, that's why when he
Yeah,
wrote that book, they had to stop selling it because all that money from the proceeds would have had to go to the Goldman family. The people who had the civil judgment, they can just collect on it.
If he
There was
declared
things they couldn't
bankruptcy,
touch.
if he declared bankruptcy,
Yeah.
can they still collect after?
You don't have anything. What do you collect?
Yeah, I know. And then you make money after
Non-collectible.
bankruptcy.
If he made money, but it depends what the bankruptcy settlement says. He might still owe people out of a settlement with the bankruptcy creditors. I don't know.
Oh wow.
And so you just don't know what happened. It might have cleared a lot of the debts. Doesn't mean he would have not have other obligations. But more importantly than that is he strategically set himself up. Like I think he had his homestead in Florida, which means that's not subject to a civil judgment.
Okay.
He had his NFL pension. He was being paid like $2,500 a month. Can't touch that.
Damn,
Pensions can't
Oh,
be
they had a
touched.
pension back
Can't
then.
be touched in civil. Yeah, NFL players had a
I thought the
pension.
NFLPA
They
was
still have it or
established
no?
like
Yeah,
during
they still have it
CTE.
now. They have
Yeah,
it's
the
better.
NFLPA
Probably.
It's better. It's not
And better
25.
healthcare stuff. I think they
Yeah.
fought for over the years. Everything the NFLPA can do, they can still do a lot better.
I thought I
for
didn't know the
players.
NFLPA was established so long ago.
Mhm, mhm.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if it was called the NFLPA at the time, but they had pensions, and so he was getting that, and they couldn't touch that either. So they were trying to see anything he could do to make more money. O.J. Simpson and his guys were trying to do it. So he was signing things allegedly under the table to sell to make money. So my point is, if he had this memorabilia,
We're gonna have an allegedly counter.
and it
counter.
every time you shot
allegedly.
or something like
This is
that.
like allegedly.
It's the
Boom,
way to
one,
ask Pat
two,
McAfee how
three.
important allegedly was when he was talking about Brett Favre because he got sued. Remember by Brett Favre?
He got sued by Brett
Oh,
Favre?
Absolutely.
No, you mean by Aaron Rodgers?
No. Pat McAfee got sued by Brett Favre.
No
Why?
way.
Remember when Brett Favre, that whole thing came down that
With
he was
the-
using money from the state?
Yeah, yeah.
That's supposed to be like
The
welfare
pension
money.
fund?
He
Yeah.
used it. It was like welfare
yeah.
and stuff money. And so he was using it and he made a huge donation to Southern Miss, his alma mater, where his daughter was going to
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
And they were saying, well, that was money that should have been allocated and used for like, lower income families in Mississippi and stuff like that. And you were taking money from the government. And it was all alleged. Again, I don't know if any of that stuff happened. I'm just saying these are the allegations people were saying. And then Pat McAfee was saying like, he was saying things like during his show, like sticky fingers Brett, like all these things like he was stealing.
Allegedly.
And then he kept going, allegedly. But Brett sued him for defamation. And he was like, well, you can't sue me for defamation because I never made a statement that I said was true. I said allegedly 50 million times during the show. And he ended up dropping the lawsuit out of it because he would have had to prove, because there's so much satire on Pat McAfee's show, which is something that saved him. He's always joking around.
Yeah.
You can't really tell if he's serious, but Pat McAfee has a lot of influence and a lot of viewers in his show. So if Brett's argument was great in defamation you can make, which is if you say it enough and you're a person of influence, enough people may think it's true. That can take my character for the rest of my life.
Even by using the word allegedly.
That's you have to combat that in court and use the case law and see what a jury would say and blah blah blah. But then do you want to go through all that? And Brett didn't want to roll the dice. If he loses, he's got to pay Pat's attorney's fees. So there's a lot you think about. But it got dropped. But Pat obviously had to do a retraction and go online and say, "Look, I wasn't trying to say blah blah blah." And then everything was over with. So
that's a cheap way.
Allegedly, my fault. My whole point to get back to where we got off track was that he said allegedly a lot, and people do that. So, but to get back to the memorabilia thing, we were just saying before that transition was, I think OJ believed that was still his stuff because he was signing it. He didn't give it away or sell it yet, but people had it to sell for him. So what happened was it was his, and I think because he couldn't obviously sell.
So a consignment.
He couldn't stand. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he couldn't stand on the corner of like Wilshire Boulevard and hold up items he sold to sell for money because that's they're seeing him publicly making money. The Goldmans could take it, and so
well, that's a crime also.
Of course,
fraud.
What's also fraud if people were doing it for him.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's my point.
They all went to jail with him, but it was probably for different reasons. But my whole point was to get to what Sean was saying that it wasn't his. I'm saying we don't know because I thought he signed it, people had it, but he didn't give it away. People took it, and he was going to get it back. He was like, use that to make money. I need that stuff back. He was like, you're trying to steal my shit?
Then he would have to pay off the Goldmans then.
Yeah. Well, if people knew he was even declaring that income, which he clearly was not, allegedly, of course, if it was getting it. So,
that's not fucking alleged if
he
got convicted.
I don't know, man. It was a case that went to...
But I mean, what? He only went to jail for like, what, 4 years?
8 years, I think.
8 years?
Damn, that's a long time for stealing some memorabilia.
Yeah. Well, I think that judge really wanted to send the message. It was punitive.
Was that... What state was that in?
Nevada? Yeah, it all happened at some hotel in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Valleys or something they were at when it happened. I've been to that hotel.
Damn, dog. So this guy had 2 criminal court cases in states that are adjacent to each other.
Yeah, Nevada and California. Yeah.
He's a real winner.
Manny, adjacent means next to.
Watch.
He knew that, bro. He knew that.
No.
He was just saying he was two-time felon, man. Well, not only 2 times.
No, 1 time.
Yeah, allegedly.
When we get back, we'll allegedly start talking about
real stuff.
About law.
No. Yeah, we're going to talk about...
This has all been about law so far.
We're going to talk about, since it's Masters Week, we're going to talk about...
Golf? Koepka, let's go. It's your time.
Yeah, let's
Rory,
go. Koepka.
It's going to be another year. You got to wait, my friend.
Rory, you're a pussy.
He's never going to win that. No, we'll keep that.
Of course. We'll be back.
You're a pussy, allegedly.
Like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff.
Comments, but it's Masters Week, and we're going to talk about business and golf and how it's beneficial. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back.
Let's use that.
We're back. Happy Hour Holidaze, Masters Week. We're freaking
trash talking birds. No.
Can't get in the burns ever, you know. God damn it.
I'll be there in 2 weeks. No.
But we were, we were talking about picks for Masters. Steve,
Let's go.
Who do you got, man? If you're gonna do a FanDuel and you had 5 golfers right now,
5 golfers right now.
You
gotta go Tiger no matter what. I pick him every year. I pick him every year. You know, he's good every couple of years. He might come out with one. Last time it was 2019 when he won.
Yeah.
So I got Tiger on there. This is in no order for sure.
Yeah.
I still got Dustin Johnson on there. I'm long on anybody who's on Live.
Yeah.
I took Phil out this year. I didn't want him at 5, even though I love Phil Mickelson. He's a hilarious golfer.
He ain't winning.
He ain't winning either.
He came in second place last year, though.
Yeah. So there's a guy I pick every year.
First. You're last.
There's a guy I pick every year who never wins. I'm still putting him on my list.
Who?
I want Ricky Fowler to win a jacket, bro.
Oh, yes, because you know what happens? Paige Renee is going to show her tits.
No, what?
You heard about that,
No,
right?
I did not hear about that. That's not why I was picking him every year, but now I know that.
But he won the par 3 yesterday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He won the par 3. But yeah, apparently Paige Renee, one of the golfer influences chicks, she said,
I didn't know that.
The only way anybody's going to see my tits is if it's Ricky Fowler.
Wow. No
way. So it must be coincidence you pick Ricky Fowler.
It's just coincidence. I don't even know who this lady is that you're talking about. I've never even seen a picture.
I used to like, a lot of these players.
I never seen her.
I used to
I'm
like.
assuming she's okay.
Dude, but I used to like Ricky Fowler, but he's, all these guys that bad talk Live is like gets annoying. So I used to be like a hardcore Ricky Fowler fan, but then he was like, this bullshit where they took the money, it shouldn't be back. It's like the only reason you're relevant is Rory, because all these guys are gone now.
And then Rory took back his comments. Remember, he said the same thing he was thinking about. But I mean, like Rory or not Rory? Yeah, is it no Spieth, and who's also one of my other picks. That's number 4. Oh wow. Yeah, she's an attractive woman.
Let's see where her tits are
Well, anyway, she's a golfer.
Yeah, she went
Oh, I didn't
collegiate,
know that.
but then she went professional. But she says she couldn't take the pressure. The pressure was too much, and
Well, she's probably making more money doing
Oh, bro,
social media than
she's not even
trying
just
to win on
social
a
media.
female
She's on the Golf Channel too. She's got endorsements.
I can tell you know her.
he's like, she was born on 3/11.
She wears a size 6 now.
She's 27 years old.
Pisces. No.
Yeah.
But
Big titties though.
so yeah, because I know like
Paige, come on our podcast.
Like, hey, there's a shout out. Hey. Imagine she comes out. No. But yeah, so I got Spieth would be my 4th because I think he's playing well.
I like Spieth too.
And then I think 5. I mean, I don't want to be the guy who does this, but I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. But he's playing the best golf right now.
Oh, Scotty?
Scheffler.
No, Scheffler.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought
That's
you
my
already
number
mentioned
5.
him.
No, I didn't pick him yet.
No,
That's
no,
my
no.
last guy.
Yeah.
I picked.
I would say
Those are my 5. We can say them again, but that's what I'm thinking. But I
He's the
So we got Ricky Fowler,
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth,
Tiger,
Scotty Scheffler, Tiger Woods.
yes, and
and
the guy who's going to show the what's it called?
Oh, Ricky Fowler.
Ricky
No, I
Fowler.
said
You
Ricky
said-
No,
Fowler.
no, you already said Ricky.
Yeah,
Fowler.
Spieth.
Ricky-
You said Spieth.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said Spieth.
I think you
Fowler,
already said
Tiger.
Scheffler twice.
I didn't say Scheffler.
Scheffler.
No,
no,
I
he
waited
didn't
on
say.
him.
Yeah, he didn't say
No.
Scheffler. Scheffler. It was Ricky.
Yeah.
Scotty.
Scotty.
Tiger.
Tiger.
Scheffler, and we're
Scheffler.
missing one more.
No,
I
Scotty
didn't
and
say Rory.
Scheffler.
Oh, I said Dustin Johnson.
Oh,
That's
Dustin
DJ.
Johnson.
Yeah, DJ.
That's only 4 people.
No,
No,
he
it's
got
5.
5.
That's
Yeah,
5. That's 5.
Yeah.
You said Scotty and then you said
DJ,
Scheffler.
watch DJ.
That's the same 2 people.
No, it's not. DJ, Scotty, Fowler, Spieth, Tiger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
that's
Tiger.
5.
okay,
Yeah, that's
there
5.
you go.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my 5. I had
Yeah.
those lined up a couple days ago.
Doesn't Spieth need the Masters to complete the career Grand Slam?
Well, he's already won the Masters. He already has a jacket.
Oh yeah, he did.
does
Okay,
jacket.
so what does he need? He
It
needs
might
the
be
Open.
Fowler, or it
Yeah.
might be. I mean, look, almost. I think everybody I've named won
Rory,
one except
Rory
for
has never won.
Rory's never won it either.
That's
But see,
what-
I
he's
like
the one who
guys
needs
like
it.
that. Like I remember
Yeah.
one year, my uncle
Sure,
bet
sure.
on Angel Cabrera to
Oh,
win.
Angel.
He had never won, and bro
Yeah.
cashed in because he won. Like I like guys like that who like need one.
So here's my 5. I got.
like Tiger needs to win because it's probably his last chance. Like I like guys like that. Let's
I
be
don't
honest.
know. He's got enough.
No, but I think I'm gonna go with Sergio Garcia. He's my guy.
already got a jacket.
Because I mean,
Right.
he played really well last
He did, but
tournament.
he ain't
He's
winning.
going in. No, I know he didn't win. He
It
almost-
was in a playoff. It was
No,
in a
no, it
playoff.
doesn't matter. You got a jacket.
I got Sergio Oberg,
Ooh, that's a reach, but I like it.
Actually, it's
Kepka,
not that
It's a
much.
little-
Neiman.
Oh, Kepka, I forgot Brooks. I
Yeah,
like Brooks.
Kepka,
too.
Neiman.
Brooks my
and then-
6th then. Look
And
at
then
me.
my last one was Fitzpatrick.
Actually, I'm gonna swap out DJ for
Matt Fitzpatrick.
this guy picked Oosterhausen or somebody.
No,
Oberg.
Oberg.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
Oberg's like number 4 in the world or number 9 or
Good.
something. He's top 10 in the world.
you know who else I got? Because I had Brooks on there. I probably would swap him out for DJ, but Tony Finau is who I pick every year, and he always lets me down.
You know,
He's been in the final one
Yeah,
time.
he does play well at the
So I
Masters.
like him too. That's my other guy on the outside looking in. So I'm gonna take out DJ. I do want to replace him with Brooks. Zin.
No, I like when he told the commentators. They're like, "Do you think it's possible to shoot a 59 on this course?"
Oh, bro, that was the best. Have you ever played here?
Yeah, have you ever played here?
I can tell by the question. You have not. You guys like, no, I can tell by your question. That was great, by the way.
No,
Brooks,
but-
he hates Bryson. He hates reporters.
I know. I mean, he's.
All right,
I
so-
love Brooks.
So
He's
let me
solid.
tell you my 5.
Yeah, that's where you're going.
First and
That's a great
foremost,
5, by the way.
Yeah, I like him, man.
Scotty
Yeah.
Scheffler all fucking day.
Yeah,
I
got
think
it.
he's
He's
actually
playing
going to
too
win
well
it.
right now.
He's going to win it. I mean, in the last 3 tournaments, he has finished number
One,
1,
and
number
two.
1 and 2.
Yeah,
he's
playing
going to
best
win
golf
it.
right now.
And then after that, Brooks Koepka, only because that guy's a major monster.
Zin.
Uh,
Love him.
After Brooks Koepka, who I have is probably an unpopular pick, but I'm going to stretch on this one. And you guys never picked
Ricky
an
Fowler.
underdog.
No.
Nick Dunlop, the amateur.
I actually had him on one of my picks, but I was like, nah. You know, it's his first Masters.
win?
I think he's going to be
It's
a little
actually not
nervous.
his first Masters. It's his second Masters.
He's still an amateur.
He played as an amateur.
last year. He played.
Played
well,
as-
if I
he
remember.
played as
Did
an
he win
amateur.
it? The amateur last year.
No, he didn't win it. No, bro. John Rahm won it last year.
No, the amateur.
Yeah,
I know for an
amateur.
amateur. I know John Rahm.
Yeah.
won it. That's another one people should put.
John Rahm,
Yeah,
okay.
he's good.
Oh.
hands down.
Yeah.
And then another wild card, Terrell Hatton.
Yeah, that's a wild card. 'cause I
Oh,
don't know who that is.
yeah, it's Rohan.
That one I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah,
That's the
he-
one guy of all the names I
he-
don't know. Like just looking at him, I'm sure I probably.
Yeah,
heard
I know.
his
If you
name.
saw him, he's the
He
one
looks
that,
like Drew Whitaker.
Yeah.
That's like the other guy. Like I hope it's in the same guy you're talking about because I think his name's different. There's an Aussie guy with like a rat tail hair who almost was in the.
Oh,
That's
finals.
Cam
Cam
Smith.
Smith.
I like
Cam
him
Smith.
too.
Yeah,
That's
Cam
another
Smith.
guy. So I'm like,
I
10
like him
He
too.
hasn't been playing too well.
No, but I like him
Yeah.
in this. That he plays his course well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I like him. He's as a potential. If you were betting, Not that anybody should be betting on this. I'm not trying to.
Hard Rock.
Yeah. These are all our opinions. Do not take them as alleged opinions.
Oh my god.
I'll use that whenever time I come on your pod, for sure.
The fucking counter's up to 35 allegedly.
That's like just now since we got back in, probably not. But that's great.
All right,
It's
so
gonna be
now
great.
so now we picked our 5. Just pick one.
Yes, if you had to.
Yeah,
gun to
number
your
1.
head.
Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, me too.
You're doing Scotty
Playing the
Scheffler.
best golf right now. Why would you have gun to your head?
Hey, but do you think Tiger Woods would have missed that putt on the last tournament to? I don't know. It was 2 tournaments or it was,
2019?
No, 2 tournaments
wasn't.
ago. 2
Well, that
tournaments ago.
wasn't Tiger.
When
He didn't
play
when
two-
Jaeger
yeah.
when Jaeger won the.
When it like lipped out, the other guy? That
No,
wasn't Tiger.
The last time Tiger played was the Genesis Open.
I'm talking about Scotty Scheffler had a putt to tie Jaeger to
he missed
go
it.
into a
Are you
playoff.
talking about the Valero or not the Valero? Yeah, it was the Texas Open when he
Yeah.
finished second.
Yeah, and he missed that putt to tie
Yeah,
it to go
that's
into
right.
the playoff. Does Tiger Woods miss something like that? No, he doesn't. That's why
Whoa,
Scotty.
whoa, whoa! We're not comparing Scotty Scheffler to Tiger Woods,
I
bro.
know, but I'm just saying
I like
a
where you're
winner.
going with the argument.
No, but I'm just gonna say a winner doesn't miss that.
Oh, hey,
Scott
let me tell
Scheffler's
you,
a winner,
let me
though.
tell
I
you
know
about
he
Scotty
is, but-
Scheffler, bro. The guy has been #1 ranked in the world for over a year.
You know how
52
many more-
consecutive
yeah.
And
weeks.
what else? He's got a jacket.
You know how
And
many
he's got a green
Knows how to
jacket.
win at that course.
Do you know
And
how
not
many
only
years-
that, he's got 2 wins this season, and he's really only played like
Do you know
5
how many
events. He's
years he
been
has
top
to-
10 every time he's
Do you know
played.
how many years he has to be #1 to catch up to Tiger? 7 more years.
And he could
Of
do it.
course.
Do you know
It's
how
gonna
old
be
he is,
hard.
bro? He's only 27.
He's not going to be
Yeah, he
#1.
could, I don't think he'll beat it, but he does
I
have a lot
think
of
he
golf
can.
left. Great argument.
There,
Here's what I'll tell you.
There's
All
no
that
good
matters-
golfers out there right now that are consistent.
I don't even care.
other than Scotty.
The problem is that most of the golfers that are top 10 contenders are playing for live. So is Scotty playing against the best golfers in the world? No, he's not.
Does
Okay,
that matter, though?
asterisk.
Yeah, it does.
It does. It
I don't think
absolutely
it does. Here's what I
Because
think
if you have
matters.
DJ, Cam Smith, we were
Well,
talking about
yes.
all those guys
Joaquin
playing in
Niemann,
PGA Tour
Taylor
events
Gooch.
every single freaking week. I don't know
Steve
if you're
told
winning
us
every.
he knew about golf.
John Rahm's not even in.
Yeah. I think what matters is, at the end of the day, you got to be a good pressure player, especially
Yeah.
if you're playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
If you make it, the
Yeah.
cut.
Scotty
So
is.
that's where you look at your guys, like who doesn't melt down, you know?
I'll
in
tell you
that
who
time.
does melt
A
down.
lot of guys. Phil's melted
Denny
down before.
Denny
Yeah.
McCarthy melts
And
down.
Phil's a good pressure player.
Denny McCarthy needed to score, what was it? He went 9 under in the final round to
Yeah.
force a playoff in last week's tournament, right?
Yeah.
And on the first playoff hole, he drains his approach into the water, and he was only 100 yards out.
Something I would do.
Yeah, I mean that's
But
a
he
common,
made
man.
8
Yeah.
birdies on the back 9. I mean, yeah, talk about
Good
pressure
play.
player, but then when it comes down to the playoff, you completely fall apart.
And though you don't forget,
And then who won that?
Augusta's a
tournament?
hard course, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's like nothing else.
Just
out there.
just to update, DeChambeau just went 3 under through 3 holes.
Oh, so they started.
They already started. Yeah,
I gotta get on in front of a TV.
he's 3 under through 3 holes already. DeChambeau.
Well, it's
By
an
the way,
update, but at the
still
same
not
time,
gonna win.
this isn't getting released until
What about
next
your boy
Thursday.
who's on the live tour just came back?
Which one?
Who?
The guy who's on draw, he's like 37 years old.
Oh,
Anthony
Kim.
Kim.
Boy, hey, boy, yeah.
Yeah,
Anthony
my
Kim.
boy, I don't even know what the fuck it is, man.
That's
That's a dark horse. I don't think he's able to hit
a
this tournament. Is he?
PR stunt.
Is he in the
what it
tournament?
is.
He's gotta be.
No, he's not.
I don't
No.
think he qualified.
No,
he didn't
it-
play enough golf to get in
No,
there.
he
in the
doesn't,
in the
yeah.
live golf
That'd
tournaments.
be awesome, though.
Yeah, I
In
know.
the live
Would be-
golf
Let him
tournament.
in.
He's like plus 13
Put
on
him
the
in
Oh
that
run.
yeah,
amateur.
yeah. The last
Plus
live
20.
live
Yeah.
golf Miami, he finished plus 19.
There you go. Plus
No,
20.
plus
That was
13.
close. Yeah.
The last one in Miami,
Plus 13.
I thought it was 19.
Both scores are equally bad.
Yeah,
they're
they're
both right.
They're not good.
They're not good scores.
Yeah.
Once you pass double digits, it's all the same
Correct.
shit.
I know.
Correct.
As soon as you pass even par, boom.
So-
Well, depending on the course. But
So
Yeah,
besides the
facts.
Masters, we were kind of going to talk, Steve. When it comes to golf, how important is it in business? Like to get.
do you do a
business
lot
at?
of deals on the golf course?
I do more now than I ever used to. It's one of the reasons why I picked up golf. People started asking clients, like executives that would hire me to be their counsel for their company, and they're like, I got to talk to you about some stuff. I don't want to do it over the phone. Let's shoot 9 holes tomorrow morning at wherever, Avila or something. I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Fuck,
You know what I mean?
I
So
would
it's
give
like,
my
all
life
right.
not to play there again.
So I was like, all right. So I had to start learning to play. And I'm not great, but I can handle myself on the course well enough. But the point is,
Damn, you played Avila?
it's a way to relax.
Son of a
And
bitch.
people don't feel like they have to be, overly the way what I've noticed from clients.
Have you ever played golf?
I want to be
before?
professional.
I'm not relaxed.
So no, not with you. No, but what I mean is you're not in a boardroom, you're not wearing a suit, you don't have to feel like you're to be too proper. if something's on your mind, I tell my clients, that's why I always say, I'll meet you and play golf with that, is when I can, is, they're themselves, they'll be honest, and no one's recording it. We're just talking. Nothing illegal going on. I'm just saying.
You sure about that?
But a lot of times, it's not even just one-on-one. It's like there'll be someone coming, like the pairing, who wants to do a deal with your client.
Oh.
And so we're talking and discussing things there. Or I've gone with opposing counsel to golf to settle a case without the clients there. Yeah, because it's just like, look, let's be rational. Let's talk and let's, you're moving, you're being active, your mind's moving, and it was just a way to get the juices flowing to get to a deal. So it is big. It's important. And it's one of the things where I talk to one of my business partners about this all the time as we work with even NFL players and collegiate players. We offer them the financial advice. We offer them, not like we're their financial planners, just like about like, putting money away for taxes and making sure you're creating companies and
that's kind of
asset
financial
protection.
planning, though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's a broad term, but I'm not holding myself out to be a financial planner because I'm not. But my whole point is, you're teaching them all of these things. It's good to integrate now. We want to, maybe learn how to pick up golf and start. Something you may have never started. I didn't even play golf as a kid. I wish I did. It just wasn't a sport you played growing up when we were younger. But my point is, like, if you can do these things, then they can start learning that. I mean, there's a video of Nick Saban trying to teach his, players how to even golf. And I mean, they were all doing terrible. They never played before, the way we all started, right? But at least you're getting a start and a taste for it and understanding, knowing the clubs, which ones to use. It's the basic stuff. It helps. So if you're on a course for business one day or whatever it is, or someone invites you, or a charity tournament, it's good for you to get out there and get recognition. Even if you're a player, whoever you are, a business person, it helps. And so I think the game's grown. Tiger's helped with it. A lot of people have helped with it. I remember being as a kid, people would make fun of golf. When I was young, I'm talking like under 10 years
I was
old.
doing the same thing, man.
Like,
I wish I would have started.
Basketball. I wish I did too. Like, I'm trying to get my younger son into it too. And it's something where the earlier you start, it's like learning a language. The better you can get over time. You may not master the game, and you shouldn't. That's what makes it fun. Because you can always try to shoot better or drive longer. But I just think that it's becoming a part of the mainstream business society now in a way for people. It's good to learn it. So
hasn't it been like that for a while though?
No. Well, I mean,
it probably has in certain. My point is not as mainstream. I think there's country clubs only. It was what it was. But if you're a part of a country club, people usually weren't playing golf. But now it's getting more popularized and people are doing it. And I think that it's becoming a part of doing business deals. I just ended up getting into it because I had to get invited to do deals there. And I thought I would do deals on the golf course when I was like in law school or something.
And one of the biggest things I think that you mentioned, Steve, is that golf in itself is so good for your mental wellness, as far as
you would know. You guys go 4 times a week.
Not that many
my
times.
wellness is as good as yours.
No, but I mean,
I haven't golfed this quarter.
but I mean,
I see my brother on the golf course. He says mental wellness, but he's over here like, what the fuck
throwing
did I
his clubs
just
in the water.
That's only
God damn it.
That's only because I stopped.
I'm so angry.
That's only because I
That's
stopped
true.
drinking.
Now he does what
because drinking.
This happened on Monday last
I know. That's what I mean, because I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
When you have a couple drinks, it takes the edge off. You don't care as much. But when you're
you're saying the anger started once you stopped drinking.
Yeah. Well, because I'm more focused on, hey, I want to do good. I want to do good. But the thing is that it does make you mentally tough. That's what I would say. Because you it's adversity consistently. It's like, you hit a bad shot. Okay, how do I recover from this and hit another good shot? Forget about that one. So, I mean, it's a great game.
I don't forget about him. I should. But you're 100% right.
Yeah,
but it's also fun. Like, being outside in this weather, we got in the state, you're in the cart, you got the country music bumping, you got a cigar,
there
you got some high news or something, you're chilling.
And you get to look at really
Car
beautiful...
girl comes, you get double shots of Fireball. The guy who drove least furthest, me and my friends always do that. You gotta fire him off. Yeah, it's cool.
The thing is,
that's a fun day, man,
The guy who drives it the furthest is the one that you're trying to get fucked up.
Yeah,
that way he's
not
worse.
drinking enough.
Exactly.
Close to the pin, all those putting comps, great, man.
Yeah. No, and so, I mean, golf is by far one of the best things that I've picked up. I wish I would have picked it up when I was younger because my body now is showing the wear and tear from the other sports. Yes. But like Steve said, when we were younger, people used to make fun of people that played golf for some freaking reason.
Everyone
and I never even thought about picking it up until later on.
It's not a sport, it's a pastime.
Yeah, it's a pastime.
Still argue that.
And then they always argued, baseball's harder. It's like,
baseball's very hard, actually.
Yeah.
You ever sat behind home plate of a Major League Baseball game and see those pitches come in? I gotta find a whole new respect for hitting the baseball. I played baseball as a kid growing up, but Those fastballs, man.
And now transition. When we get back, we're going to kind of transition a little bit back into business and legal with talking about franchising.
Who knows?
Maybe we won't.
Oh,
maybe we'll stay on topic. But we can close out with franchise.
A little bit of franchising, or we can stick with golf and see what comes about it. But we'll be right back. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in to Happy Hour Holidays. We're back.
That's actually not a bad way to intro. We're back.
We're back.
The Ron Burgundy effect.
He'll read anything on the teleprompter. God damn it!
Yeah, San Diego, I think. Means,
Fuck you, San Diego.
San Diego.
No, San Diego, I think means whale's vagina.
Oh my god. Are we on right now?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are now.
I'm putting the phone down.
What the fuck does San Diego mean? Saint Diego.
San Diego.
Saint
Diego.
You see, I
Diego,
believe
yeah.
it's an old.
That means
Greek
whale's
word.
vagina.
It means whale's vagina. She was like, no, it's the saint. His name was Diego.
A lot of silence after that one. We'll be back.
And this is how we started our last segment.
Yeah.
Just get us off the rails quick, and that's all right.
Is it our last? I mean,
This is. I gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta see the doctor.
Yeah, I gotta
you guys
see
see his doctor.
B. Rice is nice. The barber.
That's right. Brian Rice, shout out.
The
Fade
old-
away
B.
barber
B.
shop.
Rice,
Get me
dude.
right.
Fade away barbershop.
Number 2.
This is fresh right here. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
I'm gonna call Brian.
Technically, it is fresh. You are Manny Febre.
Yeah, there you go.
It is fresh.
Big fresh.
But Steve's the only person that calls his barber the doctor.
That's right. That's what I heard. This needs a lot of help. So you know what I'm saying. Got to go see the doctor.
So I mean, we were gonna jump into franchising if you guys want, or if you guys want to
Which
stick with
one
golf.
This one.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at Manny because he was
Yeah.
talking.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were looking over here.
No, I'm looking at him.
No, or we could talk about.
I don't care about the camera. The
Or we
camera
could talk
finds me.
about.
No, okay,
That's
all
for
right.
you.
What your feelings
Drink
are.
another McDonald.
When are you guys doing that debate?
what debate?
Oh, that's May 2nd. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
guys.
plug it.
May
Plug it.
2nd, there's going to be a...
Breaking news. And not about the OJ.
breaking
Yeah, we haven't
news.
even talked about this. So it's going to be Steve Fantetti and Nate Jurowitz, and it's going to be a political debate where it is mediated by myself and my brother,
Ooh.
or one of us,
Asking questions.
Yeah.
asking controversial topics from 2 different points of view.
Did OJ do?
Did OJ do it? I think we already answered that. We don't know.
We don't know. We don't
But
know.
he was acquitted. If the glove doesn't fit, you must
Right.
acquit. But
In the criminal trial.
definitely check that out. It's going to drop. When is May 2nd? Is that a Tuesday?
It's a Thursday. I believe.
Thursday.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's going to drop on May 9th. So that's going to be one to watch
Wow,
out for.
big one.
Yeah, it's only
Yeah.
big.
I gotta debate somebody. I gotta study. No,
Makeup.
And just
hey,
give a
suits
little
only or what?
background.
Is that suits only? Is
Suits
that for
only.
that?
I
Can I
don't
wear that? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, what, are you going to wear a red or a blue tie?
I'm probably gonna wear a red tie.
Oh,
You know why?
interesting.
Flex out my opponent. No, I'm joking.
Well, red is power.
I think you're Republican.
Power.
Oh my God, it's
So what were you gonna say though?
I lost.
No.
Lost
You
my
were saying
train.
something about the debate. You're like, it's gonna be. I don't know. what you
It's
said.
gonna be good.
Oh, it's gonna be good,
Yeah.
and you know, and we don't know how long it's gonna last for. I don't know how much
Don't.
time.
No
you guys...
interruptions. You guys
No
got a nice little
interruptions?
format.
Yeah,
Just don't know what it is, but they said they got a format.
Well, no, I already sent him the fucking rules. So
Allegedly.
now he's full of shit.
Allegedly.
Not
You have
allegedly.
it.
I have concrete evidence proof
Yeah.
through via email. Anyways,
He uses Android though.
yes, that is
Oh,
true.
Does it go through?
Does it go through?
Yeah, not to
Can
your
you calendar that?
Actually, you're the
Third
third.
person.
Well, actually, the first person,
Yeah.
then a second person didn't get it, and then a third person didn't get it.
Thought it was
So
just me.
fix your
Yeah.
shit, Apple. Fuck.
Actually, you know Ty Lopez. You've seen his Instagram.
Yeah,
Ty Lopez.
Oh yeah, the guy with
he
the
wa-
glasses.
Yeah, he was bashing Apple, saying, I don't understand. Like, you can't even, if you do a video, you can't even flip back to yourself while you're doing a video on their camera settings. Like, if you go on to Instagram
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So they're like, the biggest company in the world, the features just, what's going on?
What's going on?
You don't know why? It's because they got little Chinese children in China building the microchips that are fucking shit up, bro.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So, news to me,
I don't think
Steve
that's
supports child labor in China by purchasing an Apple product.
Did I say that?
Do you have an Apple product?
I just need a working phone so I can do business. I really didn't focus on that reason.
This is made by Japanese
That's
people
interesting.
with child labor
Now I
laws.
may or may not do the debate.
Oh yeah. What I was gonna say is this is gonna be completely me and my brother or whoever the host is gonna be will not be interrupting them at all, and they will
Allegedly.
they will allegedly not allegedly for a fact, and we will not have our opinions shared online. It's just gonna be between these two individuals, so it's gonna be strictly a debate.
And mine won't be opinion for informational purposes only. No,
There will be a live fact checker.
there should be.
No,
I don't even know how we do
legit.
that.
No,
We're not equipped.
no.
We're not equipped.
Well, all you do
to
is pick
that.
your topics ahead of time,
Mhm.
right? You guys should obviously have your questions.
Well,
done
then
ahead of
somebody's
time.
gonna have to
No,
be
no.
live fact checking. I mean,
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. If one of you was doing that and one of you was behind the
yeah, see
the
that's too much
computers,
work.
you're just typing
We're
stuff
lazy
in.
because
You're
Happy
wrong.
Hour Holidays.
You can call us out just because allegedly you're wrong. Right. But you could.
But
do
it's
that.
gonna be big. It's gonna be big.
It's gonna be good. That's a good announcement. That's a good
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah, I like the drop,
That'll
man.
be interesting.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
but-
no one's sick of me on this thing.
No.
So much.
No Diddy, by the way.
No Diddy. I don't know where that fit on that, but I'm not.
But going into quickly into
Yeah.
franchising, Steve, like you
Oh,
know,
we got to get professional now.
Yeah, we
All
got
right,
a
let's
couple
do
more
it.
minutes. We can
We
do
got
this.
13 minutes.
yeah, I
There
know,
you
but
go.
just like a small segment on like there's a lot of companies out there that come
Yeah.
up with really good concepts, and they're like, what else can I do? Okay, maybe I've hit a revenue block,
Yes.
or I can't get past a certain point. What now? But I got a really good system, good workflows.
Yeah.
It's something that's needed. It's kind of niche. What can people do to kind of franchise their concept out?
Yeah, no, I
And
get.
what are the steps?
Yeah, what are the steps?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of steps, but I mean, I think the most important thing to do if you want to start at the beginning is obviously it's got to be something your business needs to do to scale it
Yeah.
in a different way. It'll help you, obviously. I guess we can start at the beginning by saying you have to have a franchisable concept, though.
Yeah.
So if your concept isn't able to be easily duplicated, by people who don't have a lot of experience in your industry, that will make it harder. That's the first step when clients talk to me about franchising. I have to have that, you call it like a father-son moment. We're like, listen, is this really something you think you can do? Like, can you grab someone off the street and tell them, look, here's the bun, here's the patty for 2 minutes in the fryer, put this amount of sauce on it, put it together, for the fries out of the thing that cook themselves with the timer. That's a franchisable type of business.
Yeah.
Why McDonald's and those burger things exist.
Systematic system.
Exactly, where it's plug and play, right?
Efficient system.
If it's someone subjectively has to start using their own thinking and it could modify the product, that's where you have to start thinking about, okay, maybe this isn't scalable as a franchise model. And then get back and see if you can do, that way. Because some businesses you just can't, right?
Yeah.
And so that's obviously the first thing. And then the second thing you ask yourself, like you were saying, which were good examples, is
Yeah.
why? So why do we need to franchise? And some say, well, look, we need to raise capital too. We want to expand our market share, which means the territory that we cover, whether it's in our city, in our state, in the country. You have to start thinking about, well, if we raise capital to do that, a lot of things have to happen. We have to dilute ourselves, right? Maybe we need capital. We don't want to take out a debt or a loan. And so franchising allows you, basically, franchisees are opening up locations for you because they have to use their capital to front, right, the costs. And then I tell clients, look, if you're the franchisor, which is the main company that already exists before you franchise, the franchisees, they're called, are the ones who want to take your ideas and concepts and license out your intellectual property and run exactly what you're doing for you. You have to take the risk as the franchisor that they will do a good job. Because if you have a franchise, and we've all seen it around anywhere we've been in the country, sometimes they fail. And you'll see a building where a burger place failed or a pet store failed or just whatever it was that was being franchised.
Mm-hmm.
You want, your brand and your identity not to show people that it was one that can fail or has failed multiple times
Yeah.
because that denigrates your ability and strength of your brand to be something that people want to stand behind, recognize, and also to get more franchisees because you want to scale. Every business does,
Mhm.
right? I assume for the most part. And so if you can't grow your market share in other ways, franchising is a viable option for you. Again, if your model is franchisable, if it's a way where you have confidence that it is duplicable, where others can operate it and lead to success so that your brand has a good identity in the market because they're always open and operating, right? And so those facts are important to start.
So franchisors, how do they make money by opening up franchises?
Mhm.
Is it typically a flat rate up front plus a royalty of whatever the net profit margin is or gross profit margin? How does that work?
So it's a combination of things, and it's never always the same, but some of those concepts are always kind of in there, what you said. Yeah. So obviously a franchisor, there's a lot of legal work and documents you got to get ready up front, right? You have to have a franchise agreement, a franchise disclosure document, where you want to make sure it's almost like a prospectus when you're buying stock. You got to disclose everything about your business that you can, so that the franchisee can never say they were duped one day. I put all my money into this and I didn't have any idea, what my expectations were for profit and loss based on the business you're doing, right? Or what other franchisees are out there and how are they doing, so you can get an idea of that. What are the costs and expenses I'm going to be facing? You want to disclose everything. Yeah. And then once you've done that, you have a franchise agreement that lays out all the terms and conditions of what it is to be a franchisee. And it includes things, including but not limited to, like covenants not to compete. If they end up stop being a franchisee, they can't compete and open a similar business in certain areas, right? You've got terms about when they could potentially lose their franchise if they don't meet escalators or benchmarks in terms of profits that they have to be reaching, or their royalty payments that they owe you. And so there's a lot more in it as well in terms of what the build out should look like. The location they have to get has to be approved if they have to do that. There's also training that has to be done. There's a lot of work. And so when it comes to the payment, to your question, you can set up in many different ways. Franchisees in the beginning have a lot of costs. So they got to front the costs to learn. They have to front the cost to be able to not just learn the business, but build out. If there's a build out, find a location. They're going to have to start paying employees as it's getting open. They generally take a loss in the first couple of years. And the payments on top of that, they have to pay the franchisor are, there could be a training fee because you're going to use our people to come and teach you. There's a fee for that. Franchisee might have to pay that. There's also fees on a regular quarterly or monthly basis. You take a percentage of the profit in terms of what they're making. Then you can take not only a piece of the profits, it could be a separate royalty payment you charge on top for licensing out the intellectual property you're giving them, right? If you want those golden arches stand on your sign, there's a cost for that. Yeah. So franchises can build in, that's what I'm saying. It's not always the same. Every franchise is different. Every industry is different. Every business is different. But you can still build in a lot of different costs. But again, you have to be smart as a franchisor. If you're burying your franchisees in too many costs or unobtainable benchmarks, you're going to lose on a franchisees. They're going to fail, and you're going to have a failed business model. And so you really got to be an astute business person when you're going to franchise to understand where, look, I've played the chess. I've played all the chess moves that could happen, that if we charge X amount of items that our franchisees are likely to fail or succeed, then you have a good understanding, at least being the savvy business people you are for your own business, you should know what it takes to succeed because you've been doing it yourself. Yeah. So use those same lines of thinking to set your franchisees up for success. And then modify it from there. If it's too easy, or if it needs to be a little harder, or if you need to maybe reduce amounts but keep the same type of targets, could be a lot of different things, right? So you have the freedom to set those, but you want to see success out of your franchisees.
How can franchisors guarantee that they're being compensated accurately from their franchisee? Is there an audit process that needs to take place from a franchisor standpoint where they say, hey, listen, now we got to look at your books, and is all this included in the contracts?
Yeah, of course. It is. There's an audit clause. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you want to have...
Because let's say they're only paying you 1% when they owe you 2%.
Right. Well, then they're in breach of the contract.
Yeah. Exactly.
Contract says too.
But you have to find proof of that before you can accuse them.
Exactly.
Of that.
And there's cure rights. You're going to want to give them a chance to cure if they miss a certain period of time. That's up to you in terms of what you agree to as a franchisor, to be patient, especially for your first, maybe one or two franchisees. But also, you do want to make sure that you are getting every dollar that you're supposed to get as a franchisor. But it's integral to never forget that you want to set a model with a profit and loss statement in the beginning of all the expenses they have, what they could be facing, the likelihood of an economic downturn during a couple quarters, where they could still be. Because at the end of the day, all those expenses and royalty fees they have and staff they got to pay, whatever the business is, they still have to leave away with something, you hope, because then it's not worth their while to be a franchisee. Yeah. So you've got to plan those targets accordingly. And again, if the franchisor wants to audit, you put an audit right in the contracts. Absolutely.
Yeah. But you have to. Right?
And you want to do it at will. You can do it every quarter. You can ask for reports. I mean, anyway, you're going to be requiring, at least on a quarterly basis, to see their P&L. if you're a franchisor. So you're already going to be getting that information. The question is the information accurate and adding up, or is it raising questions? And then you would trigger an audit.
Well, as a franchisor, shouldn't you already have a system established where they have to, they're required to use certain systems and programs,
software,
that
programs.
can track these transactions?
If you can. I don't know if every business allows for it, but obviously some do.
Point of sale system, right?
Exactly. But my whole point is
you can't lie about that.
I'm assuming you're right. I'm sure there's ways, there's errors or ways in systems. I just don't want to give people 100% certainty on things. But I will tell you, no, what you're saying makes absolute sense. But all I'm saying is, there might be some businesses where you can't. But the better ones, and that's why you're accurate in your statement, is the better franchisors find ways and systems in which the math being done, there's a way to track it. There's a way to make sure that it's accurate. If things aren't adding up, at least you have a baseline to go to somebody and say, we think there's inaccuracies here in the accounting, and here's why, versus just not liking the amount you're getting. And so you're assuming they're like skimming or something. Exactly. No. You want programs to have evidence or proof for your argument, because that's obviously going to help. And that's obviously important. But I mean, also, I think it's very, very important to note that even while you are monitoring those payments and the processes, and you have an audit, right? There's other ways that you can still assist, right? Your franchisees to be successful. And that'll obviously help make sure that numbers are being hit.
Yeah. By providing marketing budget, maybe.
Yeah. Exactly. All those things. But I mean, you can even charge for it. I mean, franchisors charge for those programs. It's like the programs we're going to use to hold you accountable. And if we find problems, they will trigger an audit. You're also charging a monthly fee to them to use those. Some franchisors do that.
And I just got real quick. I know we're kind of coming down on time.
Yeah, but as far as the doctor.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's the benefit? Why do the franchise instead of just opening up your own business? Like, what's the benefit, real quick, Steve? Like, why would you just pay all these royalty fees, all this stuff?
Why be a franchisee?
Yeah, Great question.
Why be a franchisee?
Because honestly, that's something that people get asked all the time. Yeah. And it's a very simple answer, in my opinion.
Brand awareness?
Well, including think about it.
A system's already in place.
Think about it. The franchisor has probably spent who knows how long building a business, establishing a brand, creating intellectual property that maybe no one else can use because you've trademarked, copyrighted, patented, whatever it is. So if things are copyright, trademark, or patent, you already legally, technically can't use those. Yeah. So like not everyone can just put the golden arches up on their restaurant, right? Yeah. So if you have an opportunity to be able to use that, all the hard work is done for you. You just take the playbook and you execute. Why would you're saving yourself all the time. I equate it to starting an NFL agency. Yeah. Like you could step in or you could start it from scratch. You have to build all your infrastructure. It takes time and find players. Yeah. It's the same thing. The work could already be done for you. Step in and you just start plugging and playing and working. So people don't want to try to, A, they may not be able to develop their own business. Yeah. B, they may not have a concept. And C, things might already be settled in the law that they can't duplicate. So get on board with where it is, but there's a cost for it, as you can see. So that's to answer your question, why they do it. They can't develop it themselves. Yeah. They may not be able to. They might not have the understanding how to even create a product. The product's there for them. The intellectual property there, the license is there for them. Yeah. They just got to use it and follow the model and make it work. Find a good territory, right? That there's not restrictions on. Find opportunity where you have good personnel, a good manager. Make sure you follow the rule book that the franchisor sets, and then obviously you take things from there.
Well, thank you.
Path of least resistance.
Hey, a little nugget right there at the end of some good information. So, Steve, always appreciate you coming on. Mr. Fantetti, always giving us the best.
Steve, did we get billed for this podcast? Oh, yeah. You didn't make that joke yet.
I was going to, but I already made the other joke earlier. Like, don't you guys have a pod today? Who's coming on?
Do you have anything to leave the audience?
Nothing.
Anything you want to plug?
Nothing.
No? All right, cool.
Appreciate the opportunity to come back on, man. I'll see you guys May 2nd.
Yeah.
May 9th, technically.
Oh, is it?
Well, I mean, it's all.
I said you guys, but correct. I like it. Look at you.
Well, all right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to Happy Hour Holidays, man. We're trying to keep it nice and fresh for you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're always changing that social media page. So check in on it. Friday features, everything else. And peace out. Hope you're enjoying the Masters.